Okay, so we are starting a hunter campaign. We've made our characters, we've prepared. The viewers can see minefields on the city map where various vampires might or might not be, with various clan symbols, which might or might not be harbingers of skulls. And, well, the players have no idea what they're walking into. All they know is there's vampires here, and they need to find those vampires and kill them before those vampires find them. So, you've been in town for about a week. The paperwork has gone through. You've gotten your jobs, those of you who are getting jobs, and you sort of moved in. And the question really is, what are your first moves? What's the plan?
I believe the first plan is to simply arrange it so that our jobs would place us into places where vampires will tend to be somewhat nearby.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we already have steel for that, so...
Yes.
Yeah.
Steel is in the hospital, and Kraft has a private investigator thing going on, but how he places himself is for when he gets here.
Yep.
Hi, Kraft.
Hi, Kraft.
And speak of the devil, and he shall appear.
Explain thyself, Pengu.
The dinner got later than it was supposed to get. Like, was moved later than it was supposed to be.
Epic got fucked over by his place of work. You wanted to stuff your face.
Come on now. Food is
I
important.
believe ancient player wisdom states that it's not wise to egg your SD, especially the first session, when you're easily replaceable, should something horrible happen to your character by accident.
Also,
Accident. I don't think those exist in the world of darkness.
Not with accidents.
Okay.
Accidents happen all the time.
Speaking of accidents, I want everyone to roll me likely luck. You're probably gonna be fine, but if someone manages to get like a 1,
Oh my god.
10, 10, 9, 5, and 3. Fucking
There
hell.
seems to be a pattern here.
okay, I will, on a 3, I will give you a way out. I'm gonna roll unlikely luck for vampires. If they beat you, you might be not
Wait, do they have
necessarily
to get
investigated,
lowered?
but let's call it them noticing something that might eventually build up to enough reasons to investigate you. Like, you know, an odd quirk or behavior or whatever. Something that might arouse suspicion if it builds up enough. No? On a tie, you're good.
Alright, so we aren't immediately at risk of being compromised out of character. Good to know.
Son of a bitch, that would have been a great way to get them. Fuck, Demi, you fucked up.
It would be,
Fuck you.
Aruman, it would be essentially a matter of like clues building up. It wouldn't be a single strike, but if someone is doing weird things time and again and drawing attention to themselves, eventually they would be investigated. That being said, if you want to dangle out Demi as bait and see who bites, that's a legitimate strategy.
Yep.
Hey, I'm not supposed to be bait. I'm supposed to be watching the bait.
I suppose I will let Demi off this time. I use them
Oh,
enough
man.
as bait anyway.
The dice said
Honestly, I'd
no, but
probably
you're
be
letting
looking
Demi
around
off.
Yeah, like my character would probably be looking around town, scoping out where odd things might be happening, where...
You need
Like-
to give me a specific location, because it's a big town and it's filled with witchcraft museums.
That's true. I'll probably be investigating the immediate area for odd happenings, maybe in the past, or perhaps there's gossip that I can eavesdrop on that so that there's an eccentric person. Just
Again.
possible leads.
Give me something specific you're investigating. This is all about investigation. So, what do you start with? What are you doing specifically? You can certainly patrol the area around town, or you can go to the library and look through old newspapers if you wish.
Yeah, I think I'm probably going to go, and if there are some people here, there might have been something happening. So I'll probably go look through news clippings and other local information as to events.
Okay.
Maybe
And,
one of them slipped up.
Let's go around a circle. Theo,
Yes,
how are you investigating?
I'm going to my job.
Okay.
And keeping an eye and ear out for anything too out of the ordinary.
Are you actually
Or,
asking around, or are you just
No.
trying to overhear?
Since I'm the doctor there, I pretty much have like, okay, what is this patient going through?
So looking at like records and the like, checking up on patients that pass through, that kind of thing.
Yeah, like that are passing through at that time,
Yep,
That
ear to
can
the
give
ground, as it
Yeah,
were.
so I can give my advice in the solving of set.
Okay. Okay. Demi, how are you investigating?
Seeing that I'm a very pious person, I was gonna go and see about the nearby churches and whatnot. Just see where they are, how they are, and whatnot.
Okay. Just looking at the churches and seeing what kind of people frequent them, or actually talking to the priests?
Well, the first one, and also talking to the priests.
Okay. Let's see. Epic, how are you investigating?
I think, by the way, real quick question. I do have 1 dot of resources. Would that be enough to own a pair of, little VAM braces? Just like leather ones or something meant for like blocking really thick. Well, more like they look like leather ones but have some steel in them. But, basically to make my hands and everything more lethal, as well as like a pair of knuckle dusters.
Knuckle dusters, yes. The actual fucking gauntlet things, especially if you want them to look semi-normal, that would essentially be something you would take as one of your slots if you had an arsenal.
Ah, well.
But it is something, if someone has craft that you can attempt to make, it's just, not something that you automatically start with.
Sure. I'll just accept the knuckle dusters then. I think I'm going to try and investigate more of the bodyguard scene. And by this, I mean bouncer scene, my bad, not bodyguard. To see if I can't try and get a job with them.
Okay. Keep an eye on the nightlife, essentially.
Basically, my perception's horrible, but people often, vampires aren't usually too careful if they don't know vampires are around. So, little things can slip through.
That and people and their drinks tend to mention the odd goings on that they wouldn't mention normally.
Okay. So, craft. I assume, given that you intend to play the private investigator, that you have an office rented in the city?
Probably where I work from, yeah. And then, take the requests. Or, look into requests that seem a bit odd. Maybe.
Okay.
I mean, you can always ask me for help, because I'm actually pretty well built towards that sort of thing, if you absolutely need it.
Okay, so how are you gonna go about investigating things, Craft? As in, looking for vampires, while pretending to be normal.
I mean, people going missing might have something to do with vampires. or like
Yes, but that
because
would normally be handled by the police.
private investigators,
Looking for cats.
looking for cats. Is that what they do? No.
Actually, surprisingly, quite often, yes.
Yeah,
Shit.
people love
It's
their
fine.
fucking pets.
Yeah, I mean it's
as a
work
private-
and it'll bring you around town. It'll basically
basically-
allow you to keep near to the ground.
As a private investigator, what you do is you just take people who have something they want to find or something for you to look into. You don't actually have any particular say or sway. All you do is spend immense amounts of times researching shit, is what you generally do.
I mean, it's a good cover for looking around while pretending to be on a case.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah. So would I know where the vampires might be, or am I just like
Any place
And
they
what
could
do I-
easily get blood, or money, or power in some shape or form.
I mean, the broad categories are basically the mayor's office, influence in the mayor's office, influence in the medical industry, or influence in. Since this isn't finance, I'm going to assume some of the tourist boards and tourist attractions here. Those are probably the big areas that we would be looking into there.
You don't have hunter tactics, do you, Kraft?
don't think so. No.
Give
I-
me an
oh.
intelligence at we'll call it a Nate to see if you can remember any specific cases that might be useful.
That's
sure.
not your.
I noticed. That's the one. That's the one. I have 4 calls, so it's just
No,
intelligence
this is intelligence hunter tactics. It's not about supernatural powers. This is about how they as a society function and how to hunt them effectively.
Okay. 1 success.
Well, that's enough to know that vampires will be involved with at least some of the structures of power in the city, especially the more social types, but not necessarily in obvious places. For example, you could have a powerful elder vampire, to give a case, who lives in an apartment which he rents from a corporation which is embroiled in a conflict with a rival corporation in the same city while secretly bloodbinding the CEOs of both. He's adjacent, but not necessarily in an obvious way, but they will be somewhere nearby. Just in a way where they can potentially avoid direct attention, if they're smart.
Be rather blunt, you're in a good position to generally go and get anything that's publicly available and then just look into it without anyone putting up a fuss.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. So getting the public info. I mean, if nobody's looking into the financial one,
You have the money from the society and you have the cover identity. It's if that's how you want to approach it, pick what you want to start with. What do you investigate first?
Could I go with the gangs? Since I do have a bit of a streetwise.
Do you
What
want
do you
to
have that's connected to them, first of all?
They might not be at all true.
Yeah, no, what do you have that lets you connect to them? That's not something that's usually public. That's something that's between the gangs.
I mean, he can try and infiltrate the gangs. It's just gonna be a matter of, not just finding said gangs, but infiltrating them and surviving the process. And then, if there is a Bruja there, not dying horribly or getting bloodbound.
Yeah, so, do you have common sense? Can I be giving him advice here?
No.
Son of a bitch.
Only Steel can we give advice to.
I am giving you some freebies. because this is your initial move, and I assume this is something that has been planned and discussed in detail. After this, it becomes hardcore.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay. So try and do stuff that you're able to actually rely on your own little cover for. You can go and check on, what kind of finances the nearby big corporations have, and just try and see if there's anything weird going on, if they're
Big
sending money to the
corporations,
random guy.
40,000 people in town, Epic.
Dude, there might be a Walmart here. You never know.
There is a Home Depot at the very least. I checked. Wait, what?
My point stands.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
so-
anyway, just look at the bigger places. They're more likely the targets of such things. And then just see what their public affidavits and stuff are, because companies and stuff are kind of required to have some kind of public record of that.
Mhm.
Might be forged, but then you can detect that. So
Do you
Okay.
want
Yeah.
to infiltrate the Home Depot as a janitor?
you don't need to do that.
No,
Yeah, no.
I'm a private detective. I'll stick to that.
Yeah.
So
It
I'll
might be me who's infiltrating the place as a janitor.
I could either go for the financial. I guess I'll go for the financial sector and look into that. See about anything odd regarding bigger corporations in town.
Okay,
Basically,
so-
he goes and asks, "All right, so hey,
Yes.
bureaucrats, can I get these financial recordings of these organizations?"
Yes, and then he'll have to go through them, but how well he does that, or if he even realizes that, well, he probably realized that he can just go up to them and ask. It's a question of how competent he turns out to actually be.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this one will just depend on his competence. So.
Mhm.
Okay, so, Aru, remind me, what were you doing?
I was going to look through any odd news in the past, basically researching the past of the town, see if there's anything that stood out.
Okay, then I think that is probably perception academics. Because this is a classical bury your face in books and records thing.
Shit, I don't have academics. I have investigation at 3 though.
I'll let you roll investigation instead at 7.
Okay, that's fine. I mean, if I really wanted to, I could just take the auto success there, but I may as well roll
Oh, okay.
because
Yeah, you
Okay.
should roll.
Steel, you are gonna look after patients and the like, and see if anything weird picks up without, giving it away.
yeah, sanguination, weird bite marks, the like.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It sounds like you're trying to essentially do what appears like genuine concern.
Like I'm treating them, but at the same time I'm
Yes, I know
I'm
what you're doing. I'm trying to decide on the roll still. Chill. Okay. God, your charisma sucks, man. Okay. Fuck. Manipulation investigation at 7 or charisma performance at 6. Your choice.
I will take the 7. It's manipulation investigation, right?
Yes.
Wait, manipulation investigations at 6, right? It was. Oh,
No.
It was the
Charisma
Okay,
performance to play the concerned doctor. Okay, Demi, what were you gonna do to get yourself killed?
I was just basically going to the churches, looking around, and just meeting the priests.
Okay.
You're gonna be you're rolling secret luck dice all the time to see whether or not we tip off the vampires on accident.
Oh,
aren't you?
after you do the first set of rolls, you're gonna be rolling luck dice to see how well you do, and on a catastrophic fail, you get fucked.
Yeah. That's when some very very unfriendly men start showing up, and then one of them looks into our eyes, and then we immediately blank out, never to wake up.
So
I chose my
Demi,
bouncer position for a reason.
Demi, give me charisma investigation here, since I assume you're approaching as a friend who said priest.
Yeah, this would apply as a social role, so here comes isolated upbringing, right? -1 die.
Not for clergy.
Okay, so
Makes sense.
okay, charisma investigation at difficulty 6.
Difficulty 6, yes. Okay.
So far, we've all been doing decently well. Let's see if we get anything from this, though.
Okay. Let's see. You're picking an interesting position, Epic, and you're gonna be in position to potentially detect some things if they're going on there. But whether you can get a job quickly enough, your physical characteristics more than justify. But they would be concerned whether you can react well to stress, so give me wit self-control to see if you can impress them. At 5, because you definitely are capable of restraining someone, if need be.
7. Alright. Take a roll. Could I spend a willpower point on this?
Yes, you could. You wish.
I actually do. The better position I can get with the other bodyguards, the better this goes.
Fair enough. Four successes, all right.
Yeah, that will do nicely. And you are gonna investigate finance. Hey, Pangu?
Hey,
Well,
so is my divination to see if like which company would be the best one?
oh, you can request documents from them just fine. That's not a problem.
Yeah, after I search them through, can I use divination to like help me get, to see which one would be the best one to go for?
Yeah, I need to look up divination again.
Yeah, I think you can decide if something is a good course of action or not. It has to be a yes or no question, essentially, or a choice between two options for level 2. You can use that if you wish. Do you wish to spend a willpower on divinations?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, and what is your question?
Well, first let me roll the intelligence, like the.
Oh no,
Perception
give
roll
me
for path
your...
or-
You know what? I'm gonna fuck you with this. So give me the question and I will look up the power and roll the thing for you secretly. So you don't know it's a good result or one that will get you killed.
All right.
Yay.
Fair enough.
It especially mentions to take into account what is the intent behind it.
Yes. So what are you looking for, Craft?
Then, I'm trying to phrase the question properly in my head.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I could just go. Fuck me, this is a hard question.
I mean, you can roll multiple times, you just have to keep spending willpower, right?
Yeah, no, fuck that.
We get willpower back on it.
Yeah, I can do that every day, once a day, but
Yes.
not at the same day, 10 times.
Craft. There.
Yeah.
So, what's the question? As you're looking at rather large piles of papers, by the way.
I have the papers already.
Yes.
It's very easy to request them.
Apparently
Okay.
nobody tried to delay you particularly. Go figure.
Yeah, no.
I mean,
the
the
private detective-
gigantic stack of papers will delay him more than enough if he didn't have path of divination.
How do you think companies get away with a bunch of their bullshit?
Yeah.
So, the question I am gonna ask is, oh, it has to be a yes or no question, right?
Or a choice between two options.
Hmm.
Ah, I mean, how many big companies would there even be in this town?
Uh,
Because you can just go.
Not too many, but enough when you. It's gonna take you a few days, or if you happen to not have any finance, a few months to go through all of it and make sense of it.
Uh-huh. Would it
He
be
doesn't have
best to look-
finance. He has already failed as a detective.
Craft, choose carefully.
Yeah. Um. uh, okay, I'll go with. I mean, I really can only ask.
Actually, doesn't
Should I
say
go
yes
for
or no
this
question. It says best answer for a simple decision. Like if you
Yes.
it does give it a yes or no question, but I think you could ask which of he could.
Yes.
Yeah,
Like,
which
like,
company should I go for? Like that. Which
Uh,
company
let's
should I
see.
invest first? That's the worst kind of question. I was more looking for like.
That sounds more like a question to the ST than a question you ask
Yeah.
yourself.
This
Yeah.
it has to be a simple decision.
Yeah.
Choosing
Like,
which set of
Yeah,
relics
that's why
to
I
look at
said
is
Just organize them into like 2 or 3 piles and ask which pile is more likely to give me information on vampires. That's probably the
Or
I mean,
two
one
piles.
big- Yeah, like that's what I was thinking. Like, should I go for this pile first or that pile first, kind of thing, or is this pile better than that pile?
choose
Which one
one
do I look
specific question. You get one question craft per willpower point and roll.
you're way too entertained by this.
I already have the
Yeah.
roll secretly, I'm just waiting for him to walk into it.
at? Wow. Okay. Should I go for this company? Should I investigate this company or that company first?
No.
There are more than 2 companies,
Wow.
craft.
Yeah, I
Wow.
literally have. Should I go for the biggest or the second biggest first?
Oh my
Uh,
god.
It's most retarded one.
help. We cannot help. We cannot say anything on this.
That's why I'm trying to not, but at the same time, it's very hard to watch
I
this.
Yes,
know.
face palm, delete.
Ugh.
Okay. Craft, we're gonna start the luck rolls with you, because this will determine the answer to the question. Give me unlikely luck.
Yeah. I just figured out a much better question to ask after asking that question. Jesus
Too late.
fuck, I'm
Yeah,
retarded.
Yeah.
after you asked,
Write it down
which you
somewhere so
should
you can ask.
investigate first. Well, you get a feeling that your chances are about equal with each of them.
Out of how many?
Instead
Probably
of a
like 9
yes
or
or
10.
no, you just get all of it?
Wow.
It's more along the lines of, eh? Go ahead.
I mean,
None of them.
Well, neither of the ones you picked. That's really the point.
I mean,
yes,
could,
that's
so-
the problem.
can I go for this? Can I take all all the papers, just and split them into 2 piles, and then you go, which pile should I go for first, and you just do that.
You can, yes. Do you want to do that?
Because that would narrow it down, kind of, if I'm lucky
Yeah,
enough.
Yeah.
Second
Do-
willpower.
if you-
Let's go.
If you want to do it, Craft, go for it. Are you spending willpower on this? Should I roll?
Sure, let's do that, because the first one was just too retarded.
Okay. You divide it
Alright.
into 2 piles. The answer is once again. Eh? It's either all infiltrated or maybe none of it is infiltrated. Hard to tell, Craft.
Fuck.
You may as well start sifting through it now.
Yeah. Fuck it.
We spend enough willpower on this shit already.
You can ask differently. I mean, you didn't think to ask of for. Do you have hunter tactics?
No, he doesn't.
Again, no.
I think it's just Epic who has them right now.
Roll
do
wits
too.
at
Oh.
7, Craft.
Wits. That's Jesus Christ.
Watch.
Hey.
Or that could happen.
You know, you just assumed that there was something to find there. Perhaps that should have been your first divination.
Maybe. Was there anything to find at these pipes? Jesus Christ.
Do you want to divine again to see if there's anything to be found there?
There's willpower. Let's go.
That's the charm, right? I should stop. This is getting addictive.
But
Spending willpower.
but the SD can just tell you things,
Yeah.
and you
Oh,
might
God.
be botching these horribly. You don't know. I'm the one rolling them.
Yeah.
Yeah, they could all
If you
three
define
of
if there's
them.
anything in there, and he's like, no, it's still probably a good idea to at least give them a cursory once over. If for no other reason that you spent all that time getting them.
Yeah.
And who knows, your divination might have been failing.
We might have all botched. I mean, I have so much in the draw.
Prav,
What?
just stop stalling time. Fuck's sake.
Could I say what my actual initial thing to do with such a power was?
Are there vampires in this town?
Basically.
To just start pinging divination on each of the important areas. Like, is there a vampire that holds influence over X, influence over Y, influence over Z?
The problem
sort of
with
thing?
that is that it's a supernatural ping. If there is anyone who has more than one level of aspects, and even with one,
Yeah.
I mean, at that point, hell, anyone with awareness can start trying to roll.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, if I keep pinging the whole place, so I'm giving it ping.
To be accurate, my first thing was to get the papers and then ping the papers. Alright, are vampires influencing these companies?
Yeah, it is
All of them.
different wording. This is.
Do you want to spend one last willpower before we move on to how fucked the others are?
How much willpower have I spent now?
You have spent 2.
Okay. Should I just go for the third one?
Do it.
I mean, I'll
Up
get
to
it
you.
back in 3 days. Shouldn't need it, right?
Unless someone
Maybe.
is dominating you tonight after the Auspex pinged. Maybe it's all owned by Tremere.
Jesus Christ.
Paranoia will serve us well, but not that well. If they have already detected us, we are already screwed. We may as well try and act as best we can. Act as if we've already been discovered via aspects, but try and find out as much as possible beforehand.
Do we even
Are
know
you
what Auspex is? Do I know of Auspex?
I don't know, do you?
You have for a cult, don't you?
I have for a cold, so yeah, that's why I'm asking. Do I know of Auspex?
Craft. Slow down, chill. Yes, you have an idea that vampires have abilities that are at least superficially similar to what some of the sanctioned witches, including you, can do. You don't know how they work necessarily without a roll, but you know that they have something like that. Or can have something like that.
I see.
Surely
So-
you're safe. It's not like you're creating a major beacon that grows larger every time you cast this in rapid succession.
I'll
Yeah.
just take a fucking break and just look through the fucking papers.
Okay, perception finance. Since you don't have finance, make it a 9 for me.
Of course, he doesn't have finance as a detective.
Yeah. So now it will have been a good time to reserve the will.
I still have willpower left.
Yes, Kraft, make the roll.
Can I throw the willpower?
You can add willpower to it if you wish. Are you gonna?
Yes.
Okay, good.
I wish to
Oh
congrats
wow.
Kraft.
Okay.
He went
Okay.
and popped his willpower cherry.
Yeah.
3 successes. It's
Good
gonna be
job.
shit because I'm a retard at finance, but it's
Oh, that's
something.
actually really good. Don't worry, you
Yeah.
might find something.
You go through it and you'd think you identified 1 or 2 managers that might be skimming a little in 1 or 2 of the supermarkets, but other than that, nothing in particular stands out unless you want to investigate said managers.
It's actually really good information.
Yeah,
Yeah.
either it's just blackmail or they're actually influenced. So fuck it.
Oh, I can't tell him yet. Oh, fuck.
No, you can't tell me
He just
shit.
died. Steel died.
You can tell him in character afterwards. If you
Yes,
actually have the
all
steps to
planning
do it.
sessions should happen in character where you might be discovered and bugged and listened to.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's see. Okay, Aru, you were, remind me again.
Investigating news. I got 4
Yes.
successes on investigating for odd events in the town.
Okay, give me a how far back are you going?
So we do know that this was relatively recent, right? By the intel we got from the
Relatively
tortured van.
recent when speaking in context of decades. They could
Yeah.
have been here for years.
Yep. I'll probably go back 15 years, see if there's anything there.
Okay. Let's see. 4 successes.
Randomly generated masquerade.
Give me a straight luck. Okay.
All right.
Okay. Let's see. There's maybe. Well, let's fish for low rolls from the vampires that might have gotten, fucked up.
Yep.
Okay.
Oh my god. That nat 1. That's
Okay.
fucking hilarious.
There's a lot of weird things that have happened here, but things that could essentially be considered normal crimes a lot of the time. People getting mugged, a few animal attacks, few hobos, etc. And you know the locations that you could check out. I'm not gonna specify you which of those might be vampire involvement necessarily, but given that 1 and that 7, one of those might actually be a genuine lead.
Yeah. The one I half expected to be some the Harbinger of Skulls' obfuscate dropped at an inopportune time or something, if there is one.
I have my own suspicion personally, but
Yep.
hey, that's me.
I pick things
I
there
mean, we can
isn't
all
one and I'm
collaborate with
fucking
it.
with you, but
Yeah.
No, I think you're serious, but I think
Yeah.
you have a surprise right here, and I think
It
I know
could
which
be.
one it is.
You're prepping. You're prepping planning. Yeah. Basically, this is all information for me to bring back to the rest of the group, see what they think about it.
Mm-hmm.
I have my own suspicions, but there's this information needs to be conferred with the rest of them, if nothing else.
Okay. Demi, give me unlikely luck.
Okay. Oh.
Uh,
Oh.
Hi, Debbie.
I think that means that one of the at least one of the priests was a ghoul. So yeah, have fun. Or
Okay, I'm gonna need you to roll luck demi for tiebreaker to see if it makes it back to someone and if you're fucked.
Oh,
Oof.
and then, oh, god damn it!
In the other traits, put one tick and write in suspicion.
In other traits, suspicion. Okay.
Yep.
Oh boy. The nat one on that unlikely luck there. Oh man.
Okay.
Both
Are
of
we
them.
wrong?
So did you get anything from this? That's the key point.
No, the priests are... They are very polite, but you're kind of a weird monk in a way, and the priests here are not necessarily that devout. They kind of seem almost, faith is more of a tourist attraction, like, hey, witchcraft, hey, we used to burn witches here, hey, are you a tourist? Oh.
Infidels, all of them.
They are, yeah, there's no...
Actually, does he have do you have true faith too?
I do.
If he was seen by someone with Auspex too, it's all over. But I assume he was smart enough, due to having hunter tactics, to ask during the day.
Yeah.
Yeah, obviously. Wouldn't actually that be the real actual time when actual priests do their things, not at night?
I mean,
Depends
they're
on
there for
family.
they're there for a long time, but
It
if they're
depends.
actually
Yeah,
but
It
Yeah, but usually it's
depends.
Yeah.
Epic.
Hmm?
Give me a straight up luck die. You picked a good spot and you worked your way in pretty well.
and a natural 10.
Okay.
There's where Demi's luck went.
Apparently, a lot of the clubs and bars after the closing time, some of the patrons move their way over to, or the rowdier sort anyway, the more rednecky kind, move over to a particular neighborhood where sometimes you can even see people fight in a way the police tend to ignore as long as no one gets hurt.
Oh boy.
Oh fuck.
I think this is Fight Club. I also think that this is Bruja territory.
Okay, and that, I believe, leaves us Steel.
Yep.
Let's see. On your manipulation investigation, you got 3, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
Give me unlikely luck, but I will not be exceptionally draconic with the difficulty you need to hit on this. Because there is a chance.
He could just roll a 10 and a 9. That is a thing.
Yep. You spent several nights there, and I would say that you have to keep coming back to certain patients. Because, it's some of them, the ones that aren't in particular danger, they start to recover, and then 1 or 2 of them just backslide for a bit and have to recover a few days longer than you would think would be normal.
There is a vamp in there.
Give me a luck die, Steel, to actually... Yeah, give me a luck die to see if one of the vamp's potential servants might have noticed you keeping an eye out.
Oh, come on! No!
The dice want us to know about the vamps. It also wants us to know that the
Steel?
vamps are hunting us.
Write in suspicion in the other traits and give it 2 ticks for me.
Oh.
I mean,
I
am
warned
an
you,
ER
Steel.
doctor.
I warned you.
I am an ER doctor. Of course I go into my patients. What the
You are an emergency room doctor. Checking up on them is fine, but when you're checking up specifically on the ones he took a bite out of, if there is one there.
What do you mean if?
It's kind of like, I wonder.
Yeah, this out of character, at this point, it's basically all but confirmed that there's a vampire on the medical staff. In character, we don't know.
Yeah, I mean, so a certain patient he recovers, then backslash, then recovers again.
Yes, it's not out of character terms. Someone essentially taking one blood, very careful, from someone who is gonna be okay. In character, it's a slight thing, but you were paying very, very careful attention.
I would know that that's irregular. Just
Yeah.
Having been with Leopold, you would know that it might mean vampires, or it might mean an infection. Then again, an infection wasn't necessarily written down. Then again, a lot of those patients were already on antibiotics, so maybe it's an infection that was being fought off by whatever they were already,
so it's a suspicion of something. I'm not quite
Yeah.
sure.
It could be a vampire, and given what you know of them,
It's likely a vampire.
yeah, it's likely a vampire, but I'm saying if you weren't with Leopold as a doctor, you wouldn't suspect. So,
Yeah. Okay.
actually, give me a perception medicine check this as well. At 6.
This is to determine what.
You will
This is
know if you
basically-
succeed.
Yeah, this is basically is there a vampire taint, and do you notice it anywhere?
Can I spend a willpower on this?
You can spend willpower on this, but Aru is wrong, or isn't necessarily right about what it is. You don't know what it is. It's for
Yeah,
analyzing the sheets in depth for the patients.
Yeah. I'm willing to do it regarding the suspicion. 4 successes.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. You go over it carefully, and yeah, you were lucky to notice it. You get the feeling that whoever was picking these people probably has a reasonable amount of medical training, because he has been very careful in picking out the people who are the least likely to be noticed. And
I
if
know who
he's
our first target is.
What?
I mean, it's fine. It's not like Kraft is gonna draw. Wait, what?
Like
Because I realized something very horrible if that is what this is true.
yeah.
Share with the
Like-
group. Well, actually, no.
No, I'm not supposed
share,
to.
share during our
Yeah.
joint this is what everyone found session that we're probably gonna
Yeah.
have
Yeah.
after everything else goes
Okay,
up.
so a couple days pass. Kraft arrives back at some point, eyes wide, disheveled, hasn't taken shower in a while, reeks of stale coffee, just stumbles in like, I know money now. I know money.
Doing temporary arrangement in exchange for 1 point of finance. Oh god.
Money fixation. But I guess
addiction caffeine at 2 points in exchange for a point of finance. Oh my god.
no. So you said a couple of days, right?
I mean, everyone is addicted to coffee.
Let
don't
me
worry
look
about
at the people who might or might not be in the hospital, because I need to see if they would share it with any other vampires once they realize someone is nosing around for whatever reason.
Not yet, please. Not on the initial stuff. Let us kill them first, please.
I mean, if it weren't for a twin nat 1 luck dice, I think he'd be more merciful, if only slightly.
He didn't get twin
No.
ones.
it. Was
There was there was Demi's little nat 1 that ended up tipping off the vamps.
Oh no, he's talking about the hospital stuff though. I
Yeah,
don't
it's
care
yeah.
about
talking
Demi's.
about
Yeah.
my nat 1 luck.
It's due to how he did it and how any ghouls might or might not have been positioned there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I figure that. I'm just
I
really
echoed
hoping
them.
that they don't just suddenly mention the suspicion stuff.
Yeah, like
That would really suck for
If
this
they
early on.
disappear afterwards, oh no.
Yeah, I need to make them disappear first.
They
Yeah.
know what kind of bloodshed is going on in Boston right now, so they are on guard more than they would be completely unawares.
Damn it, really? Shit, okay.
We may need your magic fists sooner than we had hoped.
Oh, right. That is how that nature would show itself if he cares about stealth. Yeah. Still, you're not gonna be able to dodge those 2 ticks of suspicion. They would tell
I
the
am a caregiver.
it still. That's why it's 2 ticks. Because it does fit how you act. You didn't completely fuck yourself, because you were careful how you approached it. At 3, it's like they're probably like they're actively looking into you. At 5, it's like, yeah, we're sure killed. Even if they don't have proof.
In other words, it's basically like the masquerade meter. If you can manage to avoid further, it should tick down slowly.
I mean, it's just my fucking luck, right?
Slowly,
Yeah.
after 3 or 4 months.
Oh, we're pretty fucked now.
Yeah, we have a lot of ones.
That being said, can't be the only doctor that has ever been suspicious. So right now it's just someone that's curious. Might be something, might turn out to be nothing. Just, guys, be careful, but don't sweat it kind of thing. So,
He's a good guy.
Even with that, that's gonna really fuck us over in some ways really quick.
I mean, as long as he doesn't change his behavior, then they'll think it's just normal. As long as he doesn't keep finding everything.
I don't think you realize what I realized.
I mean,
Probably
I do
not.
have common
Okay,
sense.
so eventually you do gather in the house. And
Alright,
you may
so-
discuss in character as you wish, in the hopes that there isn't an obfuscated vampire that followed Steel home.
Again, if there is one, we're already fucked.
Yeah.
Actually,
No.
yeah, there are several people who are able to pierce through illusions, and we would be on guard.
Well, I would hope that we would meet during the day most of the time.
Yes.
You can also do that and hope that there isn't a ghoul in the corner hidden.
Yeah, that's what we generally
Again,
look for.
there are several people with clear-sighted.
Uh-huh.
I don't care about.
If you have
really-
clear-sighted or true faith, you may roll to try and pierce through any illusions or obfuscate. True faith, just roll at 6, clear-sighted at a hidden difficulty. Just accordingly.
It was a perception awareness, I want to say.
I think it was alertness.
Yeah, alertness.
Pretty sure it was
Yeah,
alertness.
Alertness. Okay.
Can't
So-
take awareness without.
Power level
reason.
+3 difficulty, so.
Well, he's having it as a hidden difficulty because we don't know if it's an obfuscate 1 ghoul or like an obfuscate 4 Nazi.
Depends on the
who just
day.
been
Oh,
busted.
we can be
Up.
fairly certain not a Nazi.
Yeah.
Fairly certain.
If they are willing to spend willpower through the nose, and if they have found a place to sleep out of the way and they're stupid,
Yes, that's my point.
Mhm.
We can. That's why I said fairly sure.
yes.
There
Yeah.
is a chance that they would
So
just spend
go-
8 willpower points, but hey.
Yes, go ahead and make your rolls to see through things with the video.
Okay.
Also, it's fine, Epic. If there's a Bruja in charge, you can just get in the ring once you know who he is and,
I know that would be the most amazing way to go and just inconspicuously kill a vampire.
He would turn into ash.
Yeah, you'd punch someone in the face and he'd explode into ash, and all the vampires would immediately run into damage control and try and execute you.
Why would they execute me? That was a weird thing to happen.
Demi,
Because
roll
you're vampire.
for fuck's sake, Demi, roll your true fate separately, because it does in this system give you resistance to mind affecting, and obfuscate would count.
Okay, so yeah, that was my first clear sight. So just my true fate, right? Just normal true
Yes,
fate.
yes, it allows you to cancel their successes essentially, versus mind affecting bullshit.
What's the difficulty for rolling this
Just
shit?
roll at 6 for fear.
Oh,
Yeah, it seems clear.
damn it.
What about my successes?
Same.
Hmm.
Go ahead.
And before you
Yeah, it doesn't
discuss,
matter.
let me split this.